There's absolutely nothing feminist about what you do. You've just cut out the middleman and you're commodifying the female body. There's nothing empowering about that.
Here's my question to you. Why is it not degrading to get naked for your husband if it's degrading to get naked for public men?
Yeah, because that's a very simple answer.
Is it because you assume your husband's more likely to respect you? Your husband is the man in your life most likely to beat, rape, and murder you. Your husband's the man in your life who 58% of the time is going to cheat on you.
My only worry is that what it's become is a kind of genuine career path for a lot of young girls who might look at this and think, all I need to do is set up an OnlyFans account, take my clothes off, and a bunch of guys will pay money to watch me do my thing in a webcam or whatever it is.
A British philosopher once said, you can't spread your bum hole on a Saturday and then expect to be treated as a professional on a Monday.
The evolution of gender and feminism is a source of endless debate in popular culture. I tackle the issue head-on in my new book, Woke is Dead, which includes some essential wisdom on the subject. I look forward to debating it. One question I admittedly did not think of tackling specifically was this one. Can you be an OnlyFans model and a feminist? Farha Khalidi says you can, and that she is living proof of it. Men pay to look at explicit content, blaming the women is just hypocritical. Esther Krakue, however, vehemently disagrees. So when we heard that both Esther and Farha could be in the same studio at the same time, we thought what a perfect opportunity for a lively debate on this subject. So welcome to both of you. Esther, of course, I know you very well. Farha, we've never met. We last appeared in a debate where you were down the line, and we were talking about Lorde's provocative new album, which featured a woman's pubic hair, I believe, on the cover. And you took a screenshot of our exchange. Let's look at the clip first. There's nothing sexual about it. I mean, I don't disagree with some of what you just said, but clearly this is intended to be sexual. I mean, it's not, you don't literally
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Really? And that you now have that as the banner for your X account.
I thought it was a funny screen grab. It looked like you were my father confronting me with something you found on my Instagram, and I was like looking away coyly. You can also tell I only own one dress, so that's
But basically, you're using me to promote your account, so I'm hoping for a share of the spoils.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, thank you. You understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's get serious for a moment. So, OnlyFans is a massive business, generating billions of dollars. A lot of people doing all sorts of different things on there. It's not just about women doing sex work, whatever they want to call it. How would you categorize what you do on OnlyFans?
I mean, my content isn't necessarily that extreme, but I definitely don't want brownie points from people who are eager to slut shame the women who do more extreme content. So when I go on platforms, I just call myself a digital prostitute because, I want the backlash for it. So
a digital prostitute?
An e-prostitute, yeah.
What does that mean?
Like an e-girl or an e-boy. I just call myself like an e-prostitute. Like it's online, it's not actually physical or in the real world or tangible, but it's virtual.
And do you actually have sex on your platform or not?
No, I'm actually a virgin.
Really?
Yeah.
And
wow.
My name is Bob.
What, you don't believe her?
Absolutely not.
Well, why would she lie?
Well, I don't know what the connection is between, again, I mean, that's why I partly
Are you being serious? Or you?
I'm being dead ass, and that's partly why I do OnlyFans, is because I'm trying to point out that, like, you could be a virgin in a way that isn't about purity culture or religion. You could be a virgin in a feminist way, which means you don't want to bite the bullet and, just join hookup culture or just put out just because society tells you to. And I think it's really unfortunate that religious conservatism has a monopoly on abstinence culture because 45% of women regret their first time. 30% of women regret, like, a sexual experience in the last 12 months, right? So I'm very interested in carving out a space for secular women, non-religious women, feminist women to also know that they can hold on to their chastity if they want to in a way that doesn't align with a toxic purity culture.
How old are you now?
I'm 26.
26?
Yeah.
So, Esther, why would you not believe her when she says she's a virgin?
I don't know many virgins that strip off and call themselves e-prostitutes. I think it's quite rare.
It doesn't mean she's not.
I mean, it's definitely a unique perspective. Can I just ask why? So it's empowering to take your kit off, and I'm assuming, I don't know how extensive your
what kind of thing do you do on
is,
I mean, sort of categorize it for those who've never seen
you just got to subscribe and see. I would say,
Absolutely not. That's a good marketing, though. Subscribe and see, but...
Subscribe and see. I mean, I offer a girlfriend experience. You could come on and I'll pretend to be your girlfriend for a little while, pretend to not be repulsed by you. I offer slutty photos and videos, and yeah, I just don't know what the connection is to virginity, There really is no connection.
Well, I guess if you're massively sexualizing yourself, there'll be a presumption that you've had sex, and it's quite interesting to me that you say you've never had sex.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the whole point, right? That's what I'm saying, is like people are unable to conceive of virginity outside of just wanting to appeal to the male gaze and being attractive to men. And I'm not a virgin because I think it'll make me more appealing in the dating market. I'm a virgin because most women regret their first time. They regret biting the bullet. Our dating pool is full of horrible men. And I think women should wait more so that they're not just going through that ringer of sexual regret.
Esther?
I'm really speechless, Piers.
You are?
But I think I'm actually speechless. So
She doesn't have a response.
Well, no, it's not that I don't have a response. First of all, this ideology. I mean, look, it's your personal belief, and you can obviously do what you want with your body. I'm just confused what you find empowering about showing pictures of your anus on the internet. Can you explain that?
I can. Well, first of all, I just want to point out that, like, it's really interesting to me that the first time the culture, and men specifically, are interested in talking about, like, the morality of sex work and how it's degrading to women and its effects on, like, the social fabric, and namely its effects on relationships, is conveniently once women like me started turning a 7-figure profit off of it, right? Up until the advent of OnlyFans, it was exclusively feminist. It was exclusively
But there's nothing
women.
feminist about what you do. You do realize
As I was saying, it was exclusively women. It was exclusively feminists who were the sole critics of Pornhub. It was exclusively women who would protest things like Playboy. Like Andrea Dworkin put out a book on porn saying men possessing women. And in response, Playboy churned out these cartoons depicting her fucking other women, basically calling her a dyke and a man-hating bitch, right? Anytime women protested pornography, men said that you are vilifying male sexuality, and men were so eager to make porn synonymous with male sexuality, right? And I just think it's interesting.
But that's exactly what you do. Like, your customer base are men. You sell the girlfriend experience. Is it to other women?
I do have some lesbians on there, yeah.
Okay, but it's predominantly men, and I don't think there's absolutely nothing feminist about what you do. You've just cut out the middleman, but you're basically working in the patriarchal economy, and you're commodifying the female body. There's nothing empowering about that. I don't know what your definition of empowerment is, but empowerment is not momentary autonomy, which is basically what you do. I can do what I want. Every human being should be able to do what they want, because that's, by virtue of being a human being, you should have a freedom over your body. Empowerment is composed of 3 things. One, it's yes, exercising autonomy when you want. It's 2, being able to make those choices responsibly and to live with the consequences, which I don't think you actually can or really have contemplated it.
Hang on,
But the third thing is making choices that don't limit opportunities that you have in the future. There's nothing empowering.
But it seems to, right, Esther, to play devil's advocate, it seems like she ticks all those boxes, you would say, right? I mean, you know what you're doing. You're taking responsibility for it.
I agree with what she's saying. I'm not a choice feminist. I think choice feminism is intellectually lazy. I think the choices you make.
Breakdown. Okay.
What?
There's choice feminism now. That's an interesting intellectualization. Please continue.
No, I say I'm not a choice feminist. I thought you were saying you were against choice feminism. Like, you were just saying that, like, okay, me saying my body, my choice isn't morally interesting enough, that I need to have more than that.
I'm saying there's nothing feminist about what you do, because it has nothing to do with female empowerment. All you've done is cut out the middle.
Why is it?
Isn't the whole point of feminist empowerment that actually a woman can do what she wants with her body?
No, I actually don't even agree with that.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's not.
Wow, I've been led up a garden path.
Here would be my question to you. Why is it not degrading to get naked for your husband if it's degrading to get naked for public men?
That's a very simple answer.
Is it because you assume your husband's more likely to respect you? Your husband is the man in your life most likely to beat, rape, and murder you. Your husband's the man in your life who 58% of the time is going to cheat on you. Your husband's the man in your life who 50% of marriages end in divorce, and women cite that they felt disrespected, right? So why are you assuming that by sexualizing yourself for your husband, you're reserving a seat of respect from a man versus sexualizing yourself for the public domain?
Because you're not sexualizing yourself for your husband. You're engaging in intimacy in the context of a committed relationship that has
one in which he's 50% likely to cheat on you, 50% likely to end in divorce.
Everything comes with risk, but I'm sorry, treating your body like a bunch of orifices for hire is not more empowering. Women that are in committed relationships that are married are much less likely to be in poverty than women that are not. There are actually societal benefits of women being in committed relationships, and also not commercializing loneliness in men, which is basically what you're doing. A man paying you, a virgin, which I'm assuming is because you've never had a relationship, for the girlfriend experience is laughable. It is ridiculous. And
I don't believe in the male loneliness epidemic. Did you know that 89% of OnlyFans subscribers are married men? The male loneliness epidemic is absolute bullshit.
That's pathetic. But the point is,
let me ask. I
don't have a problem with what you do.
Time out. Let me just try to get my head around this. So I'm curious about the economics of this, because I'm told that, I mean, for instance, there's this woman, Sophie Rain, said to be OnlyFans' biggest earner, with estimates of up to $50 million a year coming from her business. I mean, how much are you making?
I don't share the specifics, but I've made over $1 million.
Over $1 million? Yeah. In what period of time?
In 2 years.
In 2 years. Mm-hmm. You did train to go to law school, right?
I was initially planning on going to law school, but I started doing TikTok full-time straight out of college and then was doing social media, yeah.
What do your family make of what you're doing? Honestly.
Well, my father's dead, and my mom is tolerant of it, I think. She was more opposed to me even putting myself out there on TikTok when I was just doing like very casual skit content and stuff, right? So to her, this is just another extension of that.
And extended family? You have any siblings?
I do have siblings. I think they just find it cool. Not necessarily the OnlyFans specifically, but I think they think it's cool that I do social media and do stuff like this.
I'm interested in this whole feminist empowerment thing because I assumed, falsely it appears, that meant the whole point of it was men shouldn't be telling a woman what to do with her body. She has power over what she does. She has power over her idea of femininity. She can do what she wants. If she wants to show off on her OnlyFans account to people prepared to pay to watch it and it's all legal, why do you care?
I don't care, but I think the idea of calling it empowerment and somehow feminist is completely ridiculous. And this is why definitions matter. This idea that having momentary autonomy over your body is somehow empowering. I'm sorry, gorillas do that. Like everyone, every living being should and does ideally have autonomy over their body. That's a pretty low bar.
You're not comparing it to a gorilla.
I'm not comparing, I'm just saying every living thing objectively has some sort of autonomy over their own body. We're talking about empowerment, which is what feminism was supposed to be. Feminism was supposed to be about autonomy, obviously, and having choice over your body. It was supposed to be about allowing women to make choices that give them the dignity and independence to pursue their own lives as they see fit. And also, in pursuit of that, with the responsibility of making the choices that you're making, knowing that those choices will actually give you more opportunities in the future. None of what you do qualifies for that, other than the momentary autonomy. Your options are not going to expand because there are pictures of your bumhole on the internet, right? It's going to be a lot harder if you want to be a politician, for example, or a CEO, or a lawyer.
What if she doesn't want to be?
That's fine. By the way, that's fine. But part of empowerment is also being able to make those choices responsibly and live with them.
Are you in a relationship?
Hold on.
Yes.
Oh,
with a man, or?
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
It's pretty new.
And what does he feel about what you do?
He's supportive.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, he's actually been on this show.
Really?
Yeah.
Hang on, who is it?
You know Dr. Jack Symes?
Yes. When did I interview him?
About...
Does he know that he's being...
No, hang on, I'm trying to remember who he was.
No, he doesn't know I'm on OnlyFans.
No, does he know that his relationship...
Well, wait a minute, Esther, I need to get the moment. So what was he on for on Uncensored?
With Natalie Winters talking about like the Quran and sexual violence or something.
Yes, I remember this, yes. Yeah. So did you meet him through this show?
Through this show?
Yeah, was it after you saw him on the show that you...
I'm sure he saw more salacious content elsewhere. And
yeah, he subscribed to my OnlyFans. He couldn't get enough. No, I met him at another like philosophy event we were at.
But he knows what you do?
Of course.
And he's fine with that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You seem a little bit like unsure.
Well, it's not like he's gonna be like ecstatic, jumping for joy about it. But
really? But you're empowered?
He's not, yeah, like he's supportive, for sure.
But would he rather you give it up?
I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet. It's a pretty new relationship.
Right. Let me get straight to the point. Gold is up by around 40% this year. That's not speculation, that's reality. And if some of your savings aren't diversified into gold, you're missing the boat. Here's the facts. Inflation is still too high. The US dollar is still too weak. And the government's debt is insurmountable. That's why central banks are flocking to gold and driving prices to record highs. It's not too late to get involved. Birch Gold Group will help you convert an existing IRA or a 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. You don't pay a dime out of pocket. Just text Piers, P-I-E-R-S, to 989-898 and claim your free info kit. There's no obligation, just useful information. The best indicator of the future is the past, and gold has been a safe haven for millennia. What other investment can say that? Text Piers to 989-898 to claim your free info kit on gold. That's Piers to 989-898. Protect your future with Birch Gold. Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Night all-natural supplements. Thousands of Brits and Americans are already taking them with incredible results. Optimum Day boosts your energy and supports weight loss throughout the day. Optimum Night helps you relax and get deep, refreshing sleep. They have countless success stories, including from some very familiar faces. England legend Michael Owen, who lost 40 pounds, AFTV's Robbie, who lost more than 100 pounds. To watch their full stories and many more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit oxfordnatural.com/Piers. And here's the best part. Use the code Piers and get 70% off your first order. Yes, 70% off with the code Piers.
Anyway.
So anyways, why is it degrading for me to just have vanilla? If I were to just show myself just naked, nothing degrading. I'm not getting shat on. I'm not getting pissed on. I'm not doing
Why
nice
is that
play
even
online.
degrading? But why do you assume that even just being in a state of undress, there's nothing degrading about it for random people that don't know you?
Why is it not degrading to do it for your husband? Who's
Wait a
most
minute,
likely
wait a minute.
to-
Time. Now, I'm going to call you up on this.
Okay.
Because you, on your Instagram, do often post videos of
do a
yourself.
pole dance, yeah.
Pole dancing. And you're very good at it.
Yeah.
But you're often quite scantily clad.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, I need skin contact. First of all, I will tell you why.
I have a photo.
I need skin contact with the pole to actually grip the pole to do what I do. Like, that's just the nature of the sport. And I certainly don't do it for the male gaze, and no one pays me for it. It's just a form of cardio and sport. But what I
Really?
Yeah, it is. That's actually really difficult.
You only do it for cardio?
Yeah, I only do it for cardio.
Really?
I promise, yeah. But
a British philosopher once said, "You can't spread your bum hole on a Saturday and then expect to be treated as a professional on a Monday." And this is my colleague here, Esther Krakue. Why post it? Why post it? Why not just do it privately?
Because I
Look
want
at this. I've never even been upside down on camera.
I'm sure you've done
What do
other
you think
things
of
on
that?
camera.
Well, I do think it's
But you can subscribe and find out.
Why is this okay? Why did she have to post it? Why did she have to post this?
Because I was in a pole club.
Oh.
And I did a move that I've been practicing.
Oh, this is worse. You did it for free.
Also, I should get
I'm
paid.
retiring my parents.
I should get paid. Oh, okay. Here's the thing.
But why did you post this?
Here's the thing.
Were you
because
teaching
because
people?
because I wanted to. I've actually taught as well.
Oh,
before.
but I thought it has to be empowering. You can't just be your body, your
I'm
choice.
sorry. I'm not the one sitting on the internet, spreading my legs open, and telling
Yes, you
people to
are.
pay me
Yes,
for it.
you- yes,
Hold on,
that's
telling people to
worse.
pay me for it, and then saying that's somehow empowering to women. If you knew anything about pole
okay, so you're
but do
posting
you know
this and
how?
saying,
Do you
I'm
know
not saying this is empowering. I'm degrading myself, but I'm posting it anyway. Is that what you're saying?
how is that degrading myself?
Well, she's a very highly skilled pole dancer.
Oh.
Well, it is a.
I was going to ask what can you do, but I'm sure you have to subscribe to find out. But the
You
point
do.
I was making is, you do realize there are gradations between domestic abuse and online prostitution. Do you recognize that?
Wait, explain. What do you mean?
Well, you keep saying that what is the difference between getting naked from my husband, who's 50% more likely to beat me up and 50% more likely
He's
to
the
rape me
man in
and
your
all that?
life most likely to kill you. So I'm asking you,
Yeah,
why
but
is it more
that's
degrading?
domestic violence, and actually what you
Yeah.
decided is murder. And what? So you
No,
do
not just that.
Do you
Cheating on
recognize-
you is a form of disrespect. The fact
okay.
that most marriages end in divorce with women filing for divorce because they felt disrespected either because of adultery, because of emotional abuse, physical abuse. They felt
So
like their
women should
husband
just
wasn't
sell
listening to them.
themselves to
I'm not saying they should
men who are
sell
treating
themselves.
them
I'm saying I
for
don't
society
subscribe to
because
the
of the worst case
delineation that by
scenarios.
sexualizing yourself just for your husband rather than for the public eye, that you are somehow doing it for someone who respects you more and loves you more.
How do you feel about the likes of Bonnie Blue and these others who are, I'm gonna have sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours and stuff?
I mean, I see her kind of as more of like a performance artist. I feel like it's funny that people see her as like a consequence of feminism, when in reality she's more of a consequence of the male gaze. When she says stuff like, anyone can fuck me, like a married man, a 18-year-old boy, a father-son duo, people are like, this is the ultimate logical consequence of feminism. And I'm like, no, it's not. She's literally holding up a mirror to the popular porn categories, which have reigned at the top of the hub for the past 2 decades, right? So I think it's ridiculous that people associate that with feminism.
Do you think there's a lot of hypocrisy around the criticism?
Are you not a consequence
I think it's
of the male
ridiculous
gaze?
that they see her as, again, the logical consequence of feminism when she's basically just the purest form of the porn industry, which feminists were protesting for decades. And suddenly now other people want to protest only because of OnlyFans.
If you got married and had a daughter, would you want her doing this?
I would be opposed to her making that type of decision until she was at least 23, 25. I'd be opposed to her even posting what Esther posts until she's 23, 25. I'd be opposed to her having
almost 30.
her
But
sexual
But OnlyFans
debut.
allows women to do it when they're...
I'm 30. I'm not a child.
I didn't say you were. He was saying would I want my daughter to do
OnlyFans
it.
allows you
I
to
wouldn't
do it.
even want my daughter to be having sex until she's 23, 25, because when you look at longitudinal studies of sexual regret, you're least likely to regret those types of things when your sexual debut, when you lose your virginity
You
as
can
around
be
23.
18 on OnlyFans. That's the legal cutoff point to start doing.
Yeah, and
the
I'm
kind
saying
of
I
thing
would
you're doing.
advise my daughter to wait until she's 23 to even post a bikini bikini photo on Instagram because the rates of sexual regret in general just completely plummet after the age of 23.
Do you know why sexual regret, though, is higher?
Lorde,
it's not because of the age, it's because they're in the context of casual sex.
Yeah,
and the reason why,
because of sexual coercion. And you're actually most likely to be sexually coerced by a romantic partner rather than a casual partner. Women report being most likely to be reported into violent sexual acts by their boyfriend or husband. And that's why pimps, for instance, are so eager to employ like the lover boy method, because they know nothing gets a woman saying yes faster to a sexual act than playing boyfriend or husband. So when you talk about sexual regret and sexual coercion, it's not more from casual sex. It's actually more likely to be caused by your boyfriend or husband.
Does it concern you?
It's actually under the influence. It's also because under the influence of drugs and alcohol, which is when a lot of sexual encounters.
Okay, but what do you think about that? The
and
fact
you're
that
actually
women are
citing studies by the American Psychological Association that you don't really know.
No, genuinely address it. What do you think of the fact that women are most likely to be pressured into sexual acts by a boyfriend or husband because that type of arrangement that you see as so loving and respectful actually primed her for coercion?
Well, first of all, that's self-reporting, so we don't actually know the context behind it. And secondly,
because you were just so eager to cite sexual regret in the context of casual sex, and now that it's inconvenient, now you're like, well, that's self-reporting. It doesn't really count.
No, but the point is, if they're in a relationship where they feel pressured to commit sexual acts, they're in the wrong relationship. And usually, do you know how to model a right relationship? When you've seen it, when you've seen people in healthy, stable relationships. I don't know why you jump from one extreme to another, because you clearly have a very negative association with sex and hang-ups around it, and you just think, I'm just going to make myself safe by being this virginal weirdo that spreads my legs on the internet. But somehow, being in a healthy, stable relationship, which has actually been the prime conditions for building a society, having loving relationships, raising children.
I am in a healthy, stable relationship. I'm not anti-relationship.
That's why he's so thrilled that you're on OnlyFans. But wait until you have that conversation. I'm sure he'd love the mother of his child to have a bumhole spread on.
Does it concern you that OnlyFans is owned by a Ukrainian billionaire who's making a fortune?
No, because it's empowering.
Women like you do what you do.
Women have cut out the middlemen, so it's empowering.
Well, my point being, he's a man. Does it bother you?
What industry isn't run by some male billionaire? I don't know what that has to do with anything. And that's kind of my point, is I'm not going to argue that...
It's the patriarchy, isn't it?
I'm not going to argue...
Barbie would have a fit.
I'm not going to argue that a lot of the sex work industry isn't rife with exploitation, but the way I see it is like, you could look at the cocoa industry, and a lot of that's also rife with like really unethical labor practices. That wouldn't make it unethical for me to grow chocolate in my backyard and eat it, right? So I think we need to be able to separate the like immorality of like the supply chain and labor practices of porn and the actual morality of the product.
Farha, I don't know you.
So even if there's a lot of men taking advantage of these women and coercing them, that doesn't make it inherently wrong.
I hear you. Listen, you've got a sort of machine gun style of defending yourself. What I haven't seen much from you is a smile. I'm not entirely sure that you massively enjoy this.
You have to subscribe for that, Piers.
No, it's not that. I just wonder how much you actually enjoy it, or whether it's a job and it's making you lots of money, but that actually, if you didn't have to do this for the money, you'd be out of it in a million miles an hour. Does it actually make you happy?
I do enjoy it because I grew up in a pretty conservative Muslim household, and what's interesting about a lot of these purity cultures is that they claim to be so anti-sex, and in the process of it, they sexualize you relentlessly. You're constantly being sexualized. They're making sure, your skirts are long enough, that your clothes aren't too form-fitting, and I found that so sexually uncomfortable for me. And I find what I'm doing now, yes, I do find it liberating, having gone through that, yes.
Do you?
I do.
What do you think? You could just be somewhere in the middle and just make decisions for yourself and understand that actions have consequences. You don't necessarily have to sexualize yourself to feel liberated.
Why did you post that? You didn't answer my question.
Because you wanted to.
Why did you
that's
post
the point.
it?
I don't just see myself as a sexual object. I'm actually intelligent. I'm confident. And
I'm not. Am I not intelligent?
I don't feel.
Well, she certainly strikes me as intelligent and confident.
Of course. But
so what's the difference? Why is it okay for her to spread her bumhole on the internet, but it's okay because she's also intelligent, successful? I'm also very intelligent and successful.
I'm not charging people for it, and it's in the context of a
worse.
sport. Do you?
They're wanking to you for nothing.
Look at the runners in the Olympics, like the female 100-meter sprints. They're wearing literally bum shorts that show their bums and their legs, and a sports bra.
That's
but they're doing it in the context of the sport.
If you were running like miles per day for free versus for money,
so you're talking about something you have no experience of. You've never tried pole. You've never done anything. But because it doesn't qualify for the kind of sports that's okay with you, you think you're drawing a moral equivalence. Pole is a sport.
I didn't say it wasn't. What?
But I'm doing that in the context of a sport.
Okay.
Our gymnasts.
And mine's in the context of a job?
Okay. Well, listen, here's the thing. Bottom line, I don't really care what you do. I don't have a problem with it. I'm happy you're getting paid and you find it fulfilling.
And I'm happy you enjoy pole dancing. I'm happy you picked the sport that correlates with the form of sex work. You didn't have to do that, but you chose to do it because you enjoy it.
Or empowering about what you do. That's just where I draw the line. Because there are women around the world. There are women around the world that don't have the privileges of living in a Western democracy like you, that can call the police if they're getting abused. There are women around the world that are actually being pimped out by horrible men, sleeping with probably a dozen men a day.
Didn't I
don't
say
have
that?
any-
Didn't I
don't have
literally
any-
just say that you have to be able to separate
hold
the
on.
morality from the product, from the practice? Same with chocolate.
It's
Would you
all-
say,
but,
Piers,
my
would you
dear,
say
it's all
chocolate?
prostitution.
Would you
It's
say
all
chocolate is
prostitution.
objectively immoral?
You're as much a hooker as they are.
Would you say
It's all
chocolate is
prostitution.
objectively immoral just because the supply chains tend to be
I
immoral?
don't think you can look at my physique and expect me to say chocolate is immoral.
Well, chocolate is
I had a
definitely...
very
No,
nice
but
bounty
genuinely,
bar
what do you
only
think
half
of-
an hour ago.
What do you think of that analogy?
It's a fruit. It
What do you
doesn't
think
choose
of, what do you
to
think of
be
that
grown.
analogy?
Do you know what I really think about this? It's interesting. I personally, my view of feminism is actually that women should be able to do what they like without men controlling their lives, telling them what to do, blah, blah, blah. If you want to do what you're doing and it's legal and people want to pay for whatever it is that you offer up, I don't care. It's fine. My only worry is that what it's become is a kind of genuine career path for a lot of young girls who might look at this and think, all I need to do is set up an OnlyFans account, take my clothes off, and a bunch of guys will pay money to watch me do my thing privately in a webcam or whatever it is. And I think that is the bit of it that concerns me, is
I
that a
agree.
whole generation of young girls think they're a bit like they did with the Kardashians in a different way, is that there's a shortcut to fame and fortune that involves no actual skill. It doesn't mean you're not intelligent, doesn't mean you're not beautiful, any of those things. It's not a skill. Anyone can do it. And are we creating a whole generation of young girls who think this is a better career path because it's more lucrative?
I agree.
than
That's
doing,
why.
than
That's
doing
why
actual skills.
Initially said, like, when they asked me, like, I don't share my income publicly. This was the first time because, like, I don't want to encourage women to go into it. And I always say in every podcast appearance I do that I don't think girls should go into it. The average income you make is $100. The median income is $30 a month. And for me,
on OnlyFans.
on OnlyFans.
Right.
For me, I was already sitting on 2 million followers. I was already doing social media full time. I knew I was going to be able to retire off it and cash out off of it. That's not the case for
And when
most
do you want to
women.
retire?
When do I want to?
When do you want to get out of it?
I mean, I love doing it. I think it's so fun. So, I mean, I'll keep it going for...
Or do you
probably-
just love the money? Be honest.
I'm going to be honest with you. I love this more than the money. I love defending it. I love the smoke.
But
I
if
love
you were
the
making no-
backlash. I
if
love
you-
being slut-shamed. I think it's really fun.
Well, I'm
I
not
would,
slut-shaming
I would
you.
trade all the money in the world for this.
But the thing is,
I've got no intention of slut shaming. I think it's entirely
Well,
down
you're
to
not
you.
in a position
there's
to
no-
because
there's
you're
no
upside down on
one's-
a pole and
no-
stuff.
well,
So.
yeah, because I actually have a skill, because I'm athletic. Anyway, no one's
So if I do
slut-shaming
that on
you.
OnlyFans, I'm skilled now? Would you be,
If
would you be
you're
supportive
trained-
of my OnlyFans if I did
if you're
everything
tra-
upside
Here's the thing,
down?
I actually follow pole dancers, many of whom are former gymnasts, that actually do this. And I don't have a problem with it. Again, I don't know why you think I'm so invested in your life that I care about what you're doing. The point that I'm making is there is nothing feminist or empowering about what you're doing. Empowerment means you actually create opportunities for yourself. There's a long-term look
She
at
has.
Hold on, there's a long-term perspective of empowerment. A heroin addict doesn't create long-term opportunities for himself because he's engaging in momentary autonomy of taking in heroin. If women that fought for the choices of women wasn't because we want
You know the difference, though?
Heroin.
Here's my
Well, no,
question.
there's a
How
big-
have I not
for women
carved
to-
out
let me
opportunities
finish.
for
Hang on,
myself
hang
by
on,
getting on
hang
a
on.
show
You
like
cannot
this,
become a
making
lawyer.
$1 million?
Ladies.
Because you cannot become a lawyer or a politician because there will be pictures of your butthole on literally billboards around cities.
Do you think if you ran for office, that photo would not be plastered all over every
I was
commercial? They would say, "Do you want this woman running your state or your country?"
Yes, that's fine.
That's fine. Then it's fine for me too. We agree.
Oh, okay. So
Got to say, I don't think either of you are actually going to become politicians.
Why?
Are you? Have you got any plans to?
That's
no, I
racist.
definitely don't.
I'm
But the thing is, I think there's something deeply offensive about the sacrifices that women have made to give women the choices to be able to advance themselves in their lives and actually pursue things that they want, and being compared to online prostitutes, which are a bunch of 20-something-year-olds that generally just don't want to be waitresses and actually just want to get easy money online. I think there's something deeply offensive about that.
Well, it's an interesting debate. And I'm not slut-shaming you for one moment. And I think you put up a good defence.
Yeah.
You put up
I think
a
you
good,
like the controversy more
a
than
good
anything.
critique. No, I think it's an interesting debate. I suspect my bet is that you'll be out of this in about 3-4 years. and
Well,
you'll be
nature
glad
has
to be out of
something
it.
to do with it. Most people don't want to pay a 45-year-old for the girlfriend experience.
Well, on that
Something
bombshell,
to think about, yeah.
we will draw things to a close. Thank you both very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. There's nothing more important than good sleep, and it's probably time you upgraded yours, as I have, with our sponsor, Brooklyn Bedding. Brooklyn mattresses deliver top-tier quality, honest pricing, and true American craftsmanship. They've won awards, and they are one of the very few brands to be endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association. My Aurora Lux mattress was handcrafted in their Arizona factory and delivered directly to my door. You can start with their sleep quiz to find your perfect match in just minutes, and they offer a 120-night comfort trial. If you don't love it, they'll help you to return it or swap it hassle-free. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use my promo code PIERS, that's P-I-E-R-S, for up to 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use promo code PIERS for 30% off. And make sure you mention Piers Morgan Uncensored at brooklynbedding.com, promo code PIERS. Piers Morgan Uncensored is proudly independent. The only boss around here is me. If you enjoy our show, we ask for only one simple thing. Hit subscribe on YouTube and follow Piers Morgan Uncensored on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And in return, we will continue our mission to inform, irritate, and entertain. And we'll do it all for free. Independent, uncensored media has never been more critical, and we couldn't do it without you.